Hi, what's up, y'all? It's popping. It's D. About to react to this video by Hello. You've seen this title, Why IShowSpeed is the smartest streamer. I agree. I think Speed is really smart. I think he's very calculated in a good way, and it has definitely, allowed him to be as successful as he is. He's not everybody's cup of tea. He definitely wasn't my cup of tea when I first started watching him. I remember somebody asked me to react to a video of his on Patreon like a couple years ago, and I was like, he doing the fucking most. This is extra. I didn't like him at all. But he's very strategic and it has worked out for him. So I, applaud him for that. Anyway, let's hear what he has to say. Let's watch.
What's poppin', y'all? IShowSpeed is one of the biggest streamers in the USA right now. Arguably the biggest, one of the biggest in the world. And I think not enough people give credit.
He was also really smart in tapping into the whole soccer audience. That World Cup, that fucking song went crazy. And he loves Ronaldo and he's constantly talking about how he's this big Ronaldo fan. That attracted hella Ronaldo fans. Like, I feel like all this shit is calculated, to be honest.
For this guy, for making such strategic, smart moves, or whoever's on his team, that many others have decided to just leave up in the air. So recently, he's been in India for, I think, the past week or so. I've seen clips and stuff. I don't necessarily watch his actual stream. I just go see the views, and this guy's, oh my god, this guy's frying the views. He's getting so much. People were hating on him when he was first blowing up. They're like, oh, this guy's just, he also was doing a lot of sus stuff. I was not messing with that. But this isn't about that. And he ain't, he's not on that side of the color spectrum. So, we can't completely throw him under the bus. So Speed is recently in India for a major event, which is, I think it was like the Cricket World Cup or the cricket final, some match between Pakistan and India. Or Pakistan and India. It's very huge.
Soccer.
The biggest sport in that country. It's a huge event. Tens of millions probably are watching. If not, maybe over 100 million are probably watching that one event. I don't know where he got this affinity for it, but now he's been out in India. He's definitely become a star in India just from this event. He's the only guy televising it. That's a streamer from the West.
Wow.
So, and he's funny and he's getting along with everybody. He's just a likable guy overall. It's really hard to dislike the guy. Now, there's other
I
people
love
where
this. I did not know he was
man,
an Indian.
You think this guy's annoying or whatever. Speed, I can't, I like the guy, man. Now, he initially blew up. People were saying, man, he was just yelling at the camera. And there's this genre that some people will say where it's just these guys jumping, screaming, yelling at the camera, running around their room, and that's why they got lit. Now, there are several people that are very
Monty is hilarious.
Do this exact thing. I think Speed, there's like this innocence factor. Like, he was 16 when he blew up several years ago. There's this innocence factor to this guy in his room, 16 years old, just doing crazy stuff. He's also kind of like a Dr. Doofenshmirtz type when he's putting all these firecrackers in his house. And he's just trying to entertain by any means possible. He went to that one Sidemen game. And I think his affinity or his interest in football or soccer is what helped him.
I hate that whole thing. I'm not gonna say football. I am in the United States. We say soccer here. Okay, wherever you are, cool. Call it football all you like. When we say football in the United States, people are going to automatically think you're talking about NFL, okay? They're going to think you're talking about American football because we're in America. So we're going to say soccer. I don't care what it's called in the rest of the world. I'm in the United States, so I'm going to call it soccer because that's what we say here. That's anyway.
So people like Aiden who say, yo, Aiden may be bigger than Speed, or who else? Kai, right? Kai is bigger than Speed. I have respect for Kai. I think he is so dedicated to entertaining that he's going to lap all of these people because a lot of them are lazy or get lazy once they make a lot of money. And I think he doesn't really care about money like that. He just wants to keep on winning and innovating. But there's a limiting factor to that internationally. I think Speed is the most international streamer from the USA right now. I think if Kai and Speed were in some other country, Kai would get recognized significantly less than Speed. Aiden in the same way. And a lot of this is because of one of the biggest events in the world when it happens, the World Cup. So a lot of YouTubers, people that are involved in content, they went to the World Cup, but American streamers largely didn't. And Speed was already a big fan of Ronaldo. He liked watching football, soccer. So he was showing him love. He made a song for the World Cup. He made a song for Ronaldo. I think that World Cup song is at over 100 million. So keep in mind, billions of people are watching the World Cup. Their eyes are on it. He's one of the hottest streamers. He's making videos about it. He's out there live streaming the World Cup every single day. Now, people IRL stream now a lot, but Speed really took IRL streaming as one of the biggest streamers and did it somewhere else at a massive
Yeah,
event.
that's so
So
dope.
he's streaming his whole experience in Qatar
I
and
love
the World
this.
Cup. His views are going up, the clips are booming. He has these moments, like some people, he has this moment with this Asian guy, and people kind of came at him. That was just like in good jest and good fun. So he's
Right,
blowing
yeah.
up like crazy from
Honestly.
that. All of these international fans start raising his stock, raising his viewer count. And what does he do? He decides to keep doubling down and going to all of these events. And this is the thing where I wouldn't say lazy. A lot of streamers don't travel internationally for big events. So, for example, people say, yeah, but you know, Kai went to Japan and he had this whole thing going on in Japan.
Yeah,
He went to
Japan.
Disneyland in Japan. Yes, that was cool.
That was dope.
Also, that like little mini movie that he made was really cool. And there was this nice story where he meets a guy there and he becomes friends with him, and then he invites him back to the U.S. and they go to a concert together. And that guy's like, man, this is one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Oh, I
That's
love
a
that. Oh,
wholesome,
that's
great
who that
moment.
boy is?
But is it
Oh, that wasn't there
expanding
anymore.
his audience outside of who already watches him? Which is kind of the Western market, largely the USA, I would say, for Kai Cenat. So it's different from, let's say, Kai Cenat goes when the Japanese World Championship event is going on, and it's the biggest event in Japan. And he's the only massive streamer from the US that's going there and documenting it and interacting with people. Because then people are like, yo, who's this really lit guy from America that's covering this Japanese event that we're all watching? And that's when the accumulation of those fans starts to begin. And I think we're going to see a lot more of Speed doing this. I think it's a brilliant move by him. I don't know if it's his team or him. I think it's genuine interest, and then maybe they urge him and they're like, yo, you should go do this, or you should go to this country. This event is happening. And the more
He's so
collaborations, and the more Speed continues to go to these really, really big events in different countries, the more collaborations he's going to do with the biggest streamers in those countries, and he's just going to be arguably the biggest streamer in the world. So I think the biggest streamer in the world will be a English speaker, just because it's so widely spoken or widely understood. It's the second language of most countries. It's the language of commerce. So I think he can be, but he has to integrate and mesh well with these other audiences by appealing to their interests, which are
I love
overlapping
that.
with his
I
interests.
wanna
He's
go to
actually
India.
interested in cricket. He was playing with these guys out in the street. He's actually interested in soccer. Now, does this necessarily benefit him monetarily speaking?
I think
I
that's-
don't think so, especially if you just take into consideration stats and ad revenue and all that stuff. Being in
He's cute.
India, it's not going to make him much money, but the content is going to appeal to people in the US because they're going to be like, yo, this guy's, we've never seen this place. A lot of people, they've never seen what it's like, and we've never seen our guy interacting with them. So it's good content in general.
This
I
is
do
really
want
good
to see
content.
more of the international expansion of live streaming because there are some huge live streamers from other countries. Spain, I think they have a couple of really, really big live streamers. And seeing these people come to America and collaborate with the biggest streamers we have, these would be huge crossovers. I think it would be great for their industry.
Yeah, I love this.
And overall, everyone wins. And I think more opportunities will come out of it. So that's one thing. I think people, they not speak too much and they think he's just like some clown that's just
He gotta stop.
just jumping around and just being funny and entertaining in front of the camera. But he's pursuing genuine interest and he's doing what a lot of streamers who are lazy don't do. And now, do I think the streamers that just sit at home and stream are wrong for doing that or they're lazy for doing that? I think that's the smartest thing that they can do. I would do that because streaming in real life, I don't envy any of these people. If you're
Yeah, I was
thinking
about
about
to say,
doing
that sounds
don't.
very difficult.
People that stream outside make less money than people that just sit at their desktop. Objective fact. There's equipment issues. There's danger issues. Like you saw that those guys in Toronto, they got robbed and ran down on. They need
Oh.
security. That era of live streaming is done. Let's not forget swatting. You got to deal with too many problems. Now, if you're traveling internationally and doing it, I think that's a little bit different. It's safer than doing it within the U.S. But yeah, that's pretty much what I think of it. And I do think that since streamers make less money from it, going overseas and doing all this in real life stuff, I think it's there's such a good path and an unbeaten path for people like Speed who are that big to just scoop up and swallow up this entire audience and just be the biggest out there. And that's my stake
I love this
and
for
my
Speed.
belief. And I'm 100% sure of this.
I remember he was with that
from
fake
the
ass
USA
Ronaldo.
streamers is the biggest in the world, internationally speaking. Maybe not in the US, internationally speaking,
This thing is
he's
crazy
the
though.
biggest. And he's got the youth of all of these countries. He probably has a younger fan base, but I think stream viewers for a lot of these guys is pretty much similar demographic in age speaking. But let me know, John.
Oh my God, this is so dope. I had no idea he was in India doing his IRL streaming. This is so cool. And you know, he's tapping into so many different markets doing what he's doing. And this soccer shit, I'm telling you, is really like elevating him. But yeah, I don't know. Him saying that, oh, these other streamers are lazy. I don't think you could call them lazy when a lot of them are grinding so hard and streaming every single day pretty much. And especially I'm thinking of Kai. Like Kai did go to Japan, but I'm sure he has a lot of responsibilities and obligations that keep him in the States. He records with AMP on a very regular basis, so he has to be in town for that. You know, he works with all of these big celebrities all the time, and they come to his house in Atlanta or whatever. So he has a lot of stuff going on in the States. So I don't really know if we can call that lazy. I mean, I don't think he was calling Kai lazy in particular, but he was showing him when he was saying these other streamers are lazy. But yeah, everybody just can't travel internationally, so I don't know. I don't know if that's a fair assessment, but I do think what Speed is doing is super dope. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!